Y'all coming? You got your passport? Come on, we going to Malaysia. Y'all, I have really been thinking a lot, like ready to pack the bags, about living in Malaysia. Okay, but hold on, but wait. The travel advisor hat has to come on a little bit because I need to make sure we know all the things we need to know before we actually try to go over there.
So before I got into researching visa requirements or international health insurance or anything responsible like that, I made the very grown-up decision to immediately start looking at, which area was best going to fit my vibe. Y'all, I've been like kind of scouting cafes, coffee shops, and potential areas, with a good like latte to Wi-Fi ratio. KLCC looks like that high-rise international soft city living dream, floor-to-ceiling windows, skyline views, and a Petronas Towers flex every morning. Meanwhile, Bukit Bintang is giving me let's grab street food at midnight and then wake up for Pilates by 10 vibes. It's walkable, alive, and the many food options looks great also. And then I fell down the cafe rabbit hole again. Let me just say, Malaysia does not play when it comes to coffee culture. I've already saved more cafe pins than actual hotel and condo options. Oh my goodness. So yes, while I should be figuring out, mobile SIM card options, I'm mostly wondering if I could get used to, breakfast at a cafe called Broom because priorities, okay? Anyway, I will get back to the important stuff, I promise. But first, do y'all see this sexy espresso martini? Okay, let's focus.
Okay, so our wonderful AI assistant, it's kind of what I'm using in between, just general things that I already know about travel, just from being a travel advisor. But just for specifics, because I've never been to Malaysia before, anywhere in Asia for that matter. For U.S. citizens traveling to Malaysia in 2025, it is crucial to stay informed about entry requirements, safety precautions, and cultural norms. Because, we don't want to go to someone else's, country and not do the things that we should be doing to kind of, blend properly, if you will. Ensure your passport is valid and check for any visa requirements, typically not needed for stays under 90 days. So I think this is initially going to be more like like a trip before you move kind of thing, try before you buy, that sort of thing. And I want to look at about a 9-ish day, 7 to 10 day time frame. And so I know we won't need a visa for that. But comment in the comments below, y'all. Let me know if you've been to anywhere outside the U.S. for any extended period of time, longer than 5-7 days. Did you take or did you get a visa anyway? Like, I'm just wondering that, because sometimes people say you don't need it, and then like something might happen like between now and then, or who knows while you're there. You can never be too sure. Anyway, you have to complete the Malaysia Digital Arrival Card, the MDAC, the MDAC, online before arrival, and be aware of petty theft and scams. Child, that's everywhere. Especially in tourist areas and using taxis. I do know from what I've seen so far in research, they also operate in Malaysia off of the Grab, kind of like they do in Bangkok. I think they have probably a little bit more cars in the Grab system than just the scooters, but yeah. Anyway, respect local customs like using your right hand for eating and greetings, and be mindful of your volume when speaking. Ooh, now I heard about that, I believe, in Japan. Yeah, don't go out there talking loud and crazy. We don't want to get kicked out, y'all.
Okay, so how much is a flight from Houston to Kuala Lumpur? Let me just prepare myself emotionally. Oh goodness, y'all. Okay. Okay, not bad. Not cheap, but not sell my car and my couch expensive either. Honestly, for 20 plus hours in the air, y'all, and the promise of some really delicious food and affordable living upon arrival, it might really be worth every penny. And so, now if I can just if I can just avoid adding extra weeks to this trip or feeling like I need to be bougie in business class, we might actually stay on budget. One thing I want to mention about actually most airlines, I'm using United Airlines as you can see, but typically most airlines, just for those who may not know, have a little area where you can look at the actual calendar, and that'll give you a better idea if you have actual flexibility and you don't have like hard dates you have to travel on. That'll give you kind of like when their lowest prices are for that trip that you're looking at, in case you want to be able to adjust your departure and arrival dates according to those prices in that calendar. So just a little tidbit, in case anyone didn't know that.
Okay, so yeah, Malaysia has moved all the way up to the top of the list, y'all. I was really feeling Bangkok, and I still want to go to Bangkok, which I know that's like not a hard thing to do once in Malaysia. But Malaysia is at the number one spot, y'all, for yes, like living abroad, even if it's just for a few months. But before we get full fledged into expat mode or whatever, just want to sit down for just a quick few minutes and just make sure I share with you all the things that I've learned about kind of what's needed to make that happen, especially from a U.S. citizen standpoint, because I'm a U.S. citizen. So yeah. So okay, here's our 8 main things. Let me just kind of make this more of a summary because I don't want to ramble too much. Y'all know I'm good to ramble. Okay, so no visa requirement for U.S. citizens for stays under 90 days, and I'm watching out for y'all to let me know in the comments if y'all done that anyway, though, just gotten a visa just because or whatever. Passport must be valid for at least 6 months. Now, this is something that I tell clients all the time. I know it says 6 months, but there's nothing wrong with having your passport valid for at least a year outside of the requirements, because again, the world, whatever, you just never know. You might decide you want to stay and do whatever it takes to kind of go and come back or whatever, who knows. Yeah, no required vaccines currently. This is July 2025 that I'm recording this, so currently. Cost of living, for me, that's one of the main things that I'm very interested to see. Kind of like, I looked at some, stays of 30 days. I looked at some stays for, 1 to 3 months. I looked at some stays for a year plus. And the cost of living compared to just like kind of what I pay here now is so fantastic. I'm like, oh, we can do that. But anyway, it's wildly affordable, especially compared to a lot of U.S. cities, not just here. Okay, and English is widely spoken, especially in KL, which is Kuala Lumpur, where it's probably going to be where I go. That's the place I've been looking at. I've been kind of learning the little lingo, like the KLCC and all the things. I'm talking like this is some brand new stuff. No, but it's brand new to me, okay? So get into my excitement. Now, their time zone is 13 plus hours from Central Time, where I am. So it's like full-fledged whole half a day ahead. So that's good to know, especially like you're working remotely or whatever, like I do, and setting up times to have meetings, when to call your family, little Zoom dates, WhatsApp, dates and all that. Look, just keep that in mind. The weather, hot and humid year round. Now, I know there's different parts of Asia and different parts of all over the world that have quote unquote rain seasons. I haven't quite pinned down the exact rain season or rainy season. I've kind of seen it online a little bit more clear for Bangkok. But for Malaysia, it's kind of given like at any point throughout the whole year, you might just get an afternoon shower, possibly every day. And you know what? I'm okay with that. If once I get there and I kind of get the vibe, then I'll know how to plan. I live in Texas in the Houston area, and it's hot and humid pretty much almost all year here too. So, I mean, we have probably a month of spring, I don't know, a month of winter, and everything else is hot. Okay, so anyway, but that's that. So definitely it says bring breathable clothes, light and stuff like that. Like you don't want to be out there sweating to death. And then the Wi-Fi for the most part seems to be really solid. They have co-working spots, which I'm gonna definitely, check out while I'm there, and all that good stuff. So yeah, so those are the 8 main things that I want to share today. I'm going to keep you guys on this, kind of path with me. The more things I learn, we kind of pinpoint some things. I'll show you a quick little peek of some of the places that I'm looking at. And yeah, but just, yeah, baby, if you've been to Malaysia or anywhere, in that general area, part of Asia, whatever, share in the comments your experience. And if you have any tips or whatever for travel and advice and things to know, definitely let us know, okay?